For those of you who may not know me, my name is Karen Carrington, and I am a talk show host, a mental health advocate, and an author. So, Black Men Speak Up is held by Roots Community Services, Inc., and they cater to the Caribbean and Black population in the region of Peel. This program is called Men Speak Up, Black Men Speak Up, and it is a conversation geared towards the issues that Black men face, whether that be fatherhood, divorce, financial stress. There could be just even mental health with everything going on. That's basically, it's a safe space for us to get together and let men have their voice. So, of course, absolutely everyone's always welcome on this platform. However, the conversation is geared towards Black men. So sometimes we may have comments where maybe the women feel a bit maybe left out or whatnot. But I think, you know what, ladies, for those of you who are here, what a great opportunity to just maybe sit back, have your tea, and take a listen and observe. And of course, say your comments in the chat. We want to hear from absolutely everyone. So just a little bit of housekeeping. Everyone could say anything in the chat, like, hi, Shireen. I love when you guys say hi, Shireen. We want to make sure and keep our microphones muted at all times. Of course, if there's something that you want to contribute, we always welcome comments. So if you would just raise your hand in the chat and say that you want to say something, I always want to make sure that if time permits, that we have time for that group dialogue. Also, another housekeeping is portions of this session is being recorded. So just be mindful that it is being recorded. And so if that doesn't work for you, just please be mindful that it is being recorded. And everything here remains confidential. Another thing that I want to bring up, if we could just bring up a hi V, hello, the slide for Shane. Shane is a counselor at Roots for Black Men Speak Up. And we're just going to bring up his information. And what's really cool about Shane is he's always available for additional support. So he is here with us. If anyone wants to speak to Shane after the session and needs some additional support, he can be reached at shane@rootscs.org or his phone number. And we'll leave the slide up for just a little bit so that you guys have the opportunity to take your photo. And he is 647-846-9434. And the cool thing about him is he's super relatable. He's my go-to guy. He's there for the men, and those sessions are complimentary. So if anyone feels something come up, if men, you feel maybe some emotions come up, some triggers, or you just need someone to talk to, Shane is there at your disposal. And you don't have to go on video or disclose anything that you don't want to disclose, but whatever you feel comfortable with. So that being said, I see people still coming in the waiting room. Dr. Vibe, it's so good that you're here. And then Shireen says, yes, that's okay. So what we're going to do, just to remind everyone who just came on, we're going to leave our videos off unless you want to say something, and the microphones are to please stay off. Background noise can be a little bit disruptive, especially when the men are trying to express their feelings, and then we have some background disturbance. So for those of you who are just joining, my name is Karen Carrington. I will be your host and facilitator for the evening. Just a little bit of background about me. I have a men's series called A Man's Voice. And what I do is I interview men of all walks of life, whether it be millennial, if it comes from a broken home, if it comes from different communities. What I do is I interview men and I provide a safe place for them to share their ups and their downs and their achievements. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So what I want to do is, maybe you guys don't know, but my family is all men. That's all I have is men in my family. And I would just like to take a moment and just share with you my family life a little bit. So I'm going to bring up a slide just to give you guys a little bit of insight on what my daily life is as a mother and with having a family of Black men. And coming from a woman's point of view, I know it's really important to have these kinds of conversations. My sons actually like joining these conversations because they learn. So that is who are we looking at there? One of them is DeAndre. He's the one in the red sweater, and he is 26. The other one in the hoodie, that is Therese, and he is 16. And one in the middle is my grandson. That is DeAndre's son. It's my grandson, and that is baby Emilio. And as you can see, and we'll leave that slide up, raising young Black men in today's generation is a challenge with everything going on. We all look very happy there, and we're very, very close. I allow my sons to say absolutely anything to me. They are allowed to come to me. I always have an open space where they can come to me and share absolutely anything they're going through. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was growing up from a West Indian background, I wasn't able to approach my parents. Everything was kind of pushed under the rug. A lot of things were taboo to talk about. So I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So what I'm trying to do is stop that generational cycle and provide a space for my sons and my grandsons to be able to talk about what they're feeling inside. And what I want to do is, if I can just have Nellie with me for a second. Is Nellie with us? I just want to go down the line and I want to introduce all of you. We have a great panel tonight. We have Kern Carter, who's an author. He is a ghostwriter. He's an amazing friend of mine. He is my sidekick in crime. So Kern, if you just want to say a quick hello. Are you on mute? Let's see. He's on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, hi everybody. Yeah, and Karen, back again.
This is what you and I do best. We have conversations about Black men, and without you here, it wouldn't be the same. You're just so authentic, raw, real. You don't hold back, and I know tonight you're going to say exactly what you feel, like on blast. That's exactly why you're here.
It happened though. You make it happen. Like I've never had a space like this ever, to be completely honest. So I'm thankful. I appreciate it.
I love you so much. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. And we have Ricky Burney. Guys, Ricky is joining us all the way from Florida. So we have a Floridian in the house. So we have to have that American kind of, you know, you guys have some different stuff going on there, Ricky, just a little bit different.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to the discussion and just being a part of this experience.
Yeah, it's not the same without bringing that Florida heat our way. We need you and your excellence. And the name of your company again?
Is Emerging Excellence LLC.
The word excellence in your company name suits you perfectly.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Love you too.
And Randy, my sidekick in crime, my brother from another mother, my everything, my confidant. Randy, if you want to take yourself off of mute and just in. Oh, you have my book. You got my book. You got my book. Thank you for purchasing.
Of course, I'm reading it. Very interesting. Very interesting. You know.
Yeah. Shame over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, and this group, thank you for coming. This month, last month, and I know you always have something to say. You always have something to say.
Oh,
so
of course.
You're going to bring it tonight. I know that. Exactly. And yeah, that laugh. And where's Nellie? Where is my baby Nellie? Where is my baby Nellie? Do we see Nellie? Let's see if we could find them. Let's see if I can see.
Yes, Karen.
Yeah. My baby Nellie. Nellie, I'm just going to get right into what's your favorite thing that you like to do to just make yourself feel relaxed? What do you do most?
Music and writing. I love writing, and I love playing my instrument, bass guitar. That's what I love.
And you do that so that you can get through tough times?
Yes, definitely. Especially when I write. When I write, I just find it very therapeutical. You know, writing is very therapeutical for me. And when I'm writing, I also try to self-motivate myself as well. Because there's a lot of days when I'm still down, you know, even though I try my best to motivate others, there's some days when I need some motivation myself. And I look to myself for that motivation sometimes as well.
I love the way you said that you look to yourself, because that's why we try to have these groups so that you don't have to only rely on yourself.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't know, Nelly and I go back a lot. Nelly and I have been through a lot. Nelly, you're in Jane and Finch. I spent some good times of my time in Jane and Finch. And if you could just share with the viewers, Nelly, that time when you were on the road and you just laid yourself on the road. Can you just take us there for a bit?
Yes, I remember that time like it was yesterday. I remember I had to go to a special school, right? Because they're saying that I wasn't meeting the standards of the school, and they're saying that I was diagnosed with something called MID, which was, I guess, let me see what it stands for, mild intellectual disorder. So what they wanted to say was that I couldn't function at the level in the school that they required me to function. So they wanted me to go to a special school. So when I ended up at that special school, you know, and going on, I had what was going on at my house. I was going through a lot of verbal abuse. There's a lot. So at that time when I was going to that school, you know, they had me doing work that you should be doing in like grade 3, and I was in grade 7, right? So I was losing it, and I felt like I was hopeless. I felt like I was going nowhere in life. So what I started to do was I remember I laid myself down in the middle of the road, and I was hoping for a car to come and run me over, because I felt like my life wasn't valuable. I didn't serve a purpose on this earth anymore.
When you laid yourself on the road and hoping a car would come.
Yeah.
And how old were you at that time?
I was about maybe 13 years old, 12, 13 years old.
And what happened? Was it a change of mind? What happened?
It was, so you see, when I lied down in the road, and I thought, you know what, this was it. That's where a lady came out of nowhere. And I always like to say that she was like the angel in that moment. And she came and got me off the road. And she spoke some words of life into me, letting me know that whatever you're going through, it's okay. You're going to make it. This is just, you know, this is just a building block to what's really in front of you and all that stuff. She started giving me like a motivational speech before she just disappeared. And that was memorable for me. And I think that's what really pushed me to be the person that I am today, if I could say that.
You know, you and I always talk about how we believe that woman is your angel, that you were meant, I believe you were meant to live, you're meant to do greatness. Even the book that you and I launched together, 55 Quotes to Greatness, you have so much greatness in you.
Thank you.
What would you say to anyone your age, a millennial, who's going through something similar? Because I know there's a lot of people on the line who may not have gone through what you've gone through, but have definitely felt something similar. What would you say to someone who is going through that right now?
I would say to them to have faith in something. You know, a lot of reasons why a lot of people feel hopeless is because they lost faith in everything. They lost faith in God. They lost faith in themselves. But, you know, as long as you have at least a little bit of faith inside of you, this much, you can make it through your day. There's many a times when, you know, I felt like I couldn't make through the day. And, you know, when I was suicidal, that was a thought process that you can't make it. But, you know, nowadays when I have bad days, I just think, you know, this is just another building block for me to get past. No obstacle can hold me down. So that's what I'll tell anyone right now, that to just keep hopping over those hurdles like Usain Bolt. You're going to be all right.
And I remember there was a time that you were angry with God.
Yes. I was very angry with God, with my living circumstances, my living environment, not having a good relationship with anybody in my household. I could even say anybody in my family, really. I felt really alone. I felt like if nobody loved me, no one cared for me. And when you feel that way, as I said, it's like you're in a dark room all by yourself, right? So it almost makes you feel like if you want to go crazy. But that's where I started to pick up, my pen and my paper and start to write and find therapy in that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and what I love is that you're my family. You're my boy. I love you. We always have this safe place. We talk so much. We get, you have us, and you're such an inspiration. You're such a fighter. You always come back strong. I love you so much.
Love you too.
Love you. What we're going to do is we're going to dive right into a video. Everyone, we're going to watch it together. It's just a 5-minute clip. And what I want everyone on the line to do is really take in this clip by Mr. KOA. I believe he's here with us on the Zoom chat. It's a powerful, powerful video. And then what the panel and I are going to do is chop up that video and dissect it and get some emotions out of there. So what my amazing tech team is going to do is pull up this video and we're going to take a look together.
So what's it like being Black? It's tiring. It's emotionally draining. It's heavy, frustrating, difficult, scary. Yeah, I think one of the most difficult things about being Black is never really knowing how someone really views you. When you're skilled, are people more receptive to you because of how good you are at something? We have athletes, exceptional athletes. People love them, everyone loves them. But do they love them because of how great they are? Do they view them as equal, just very good athletes? Or do they get a pass because they're good at something? Like, you just never know, am I getting a pass because I'm smart, because I'm funny, because I'm talented? Am I getting a pass? Like, you never know. Like, I think that's one of the most difficult things to decipher. Like, am I getting a pass? There's a lot of things happening right now. I made a post last night and I just had to go to sleep right after because I just felt so heavy. I said, like, in the span of a week, I watched the video of a woman deliberately lie, and say she called the police on a Black man and say she felt threatened for her life for no reason. In the same week, I saw a video of a man literally get killed in broad daylight by police, and no one stopped it. Not the police, and not the people watching. And I get it, we're scared. If you see police abusing their power right in front of you, killing one of your own, you don't want that to be you next. I get it. Like, normally, in a regular fight, we jump in, of course. You see when your man's down, you're jumping in. You're pulling his ass out. But the police, they just have a hold on us because we can't win. Like, the feeling of never being able to win is just so discouraging, to the point that we have to just watch them kill our own, and we're too scared to jump in because we don't want to be next. In the same week, last week, a man was killed jogging, going for a jog in the street. Chased, stalked, and gunned down. In the same week, we're also killing each other. In the city of Toronto, our crime rate has been rising and rising and rising. Our gun violence has been rising and rising. and we're killing each other on top of everything that's happening right now, on top of how far we are from getting to a solution, on top of the pandemic we're dealing with, on top of the systematic racism we deal with every day. We are killing each other. Like, it breaks my heart, man. Like, it's scary. So like, at this stage of my life, I don't even go out sometimes, not even joking. Sometimes I don't even go out because I'm like, I don't want to go out to the wrong place and someone is in the wrong mood at the wrong time and takes my life as a bystander for nothing. Like I generally fear going places sometimes, certain events, certain places, or if I do well, I leave early because I'm like, I don't want to be around because I potentially might die. Like, I think about that. That is an actual thought. I don't want to be here too long because the chances of me dying increases. Being Black is, it's work. It's work. We've all heard the saying, you know, we gotta work twice as hard or 3 times as hard as them to just get equal. And we just accept that. Like, that's just, we have just accepted that. That is just what it is. We see time and time and time and time again, police killing us in cold blood and getting off, suspended from work with pay. Just brush us off a little bit until it cools over, then we'll bring you back. No repercussions, no penalties, no consequences. We just have to deal with it. We just have to deal with it. I believe all Black people right now are suffering from some form of mental instability, from the economy we live in, from our history, from our daily occurrences, from our environments, from our experiences. We're all dealing with it in different ways. Some silently, most silently actually. A lot of people shared my posts but didn't say anything. And that's okay. We're scared. I get it. But what's it like being Black? It's not everybody, you know? Not everyone's a racist, not everybody's prejudiced. And there are people who do try to understand us and try to understand their experiences. I've had people reach out to me, you know, white people, other races, you know, trying to sympathize or, you know, they admit, you know, they'll never understand, but they're frustrated, you know, they hate what's going on. They're disgusted. I respect it, I do. But there's no way to explain this feeling. It's daily. We live with this feeling every day. The fear of going out and not knowing if you come back. Fear of being around someone and feeling that tension when you know they're threatened for no reason. But you know, you feel it, you see them, they act differently, they move differently. The feeling of entering somewhere and just feeling all the eyes on you, just for you being in the room. The feeling of sharing your experience and it being downplayed as over-exaggerating, being dramatic, always playing the race card. We're not always playing the race card. The race card's always in play. Don't get it twisted. But we're tired. We're tired.
That was really powerful. Such a powerful video. And Kern, if I could just go right into you and Ricky, what are your thoughts on that? Does that video resonate with you? And everyone in the chat, please feel free to chime in on what word would you guys describe what it feels like to be Black in one word, and how did that video make you feel?
The part that resonated with me was the part where he said, sometimes I don't go out because I don't want to die. Because, I mean, the existential threat is crazy already, but the threat from like our own people is that's the stuff that gets me, you know what I'm saying? And not ignoring those other parts, not ignoring the racism and stuff, but speaking specifically about, you know, like feeling like you're not even safe around your own people is like the worst feeling to have. You know what I mean? Like that to me is like the worst feeling, because it's where you should feel the most safe. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to go somewhere, come back and feel good. You should be able to go out with your people and be like, yeah, I'm protected here. Like nothing's going to happen to me here. If something else tries to come in, then that should be what feels unsafe, not me. So that feeling to me is like the worst thing. Like that's what I think about on a regular basis, is like, how do we get our own people out of this? You know what I'm saying? How do we get our own people to change our mindset, and fix our own communities? You know what I'm saying? Like separate from those other battles that we're fighting, but how do we fix ourselves? And what steps we got to take to get better? Because we shouldn't feel it. And I feel like that. Like that's the second time I watched the video now. Like I legit, like when he's like, yo, I leave places early. You could ask my daughter, when it's time to go, it's time to go. We're gone. No, we're not chilling. I ain't staying till the end. We're out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that part resonated with me the most, for sure.
And I liked when he said, like, he was almost saying it like, what a ridiculous feeling to have.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I can't even believe I feel like this. That's how I took it. Like, why do I even feel like this? I shouldn't even feel that I have to go because I might get shot. I should feel that I want to go because I want to go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I know you'll probably talk about this later, but that's the piece I wrote was that was the vibe for it, you know?
We have to get into that. And then I'm going to say it right now, and then whenever we do go out to an event, and then when we get home and we see on the news that there was a shooting, we're like, yeah, right? And Ricky, what do you feel about that video?
So I feel the video, first off, is very on point. For me, I feel the two words, I don't have just one word, I have two words. So the two words I have are exhausting, but I also have rewarding. So I love being Black. I love our resilience. I love our intelligence. I love our ability to bounce back no matter how people oppose us, who tries to stop us from being great. It's just within us, and we always find a way to overcome that. But it's just exhausting overall, having to navigate the different aspects of life. He touched on something that was very important, and that's just the fact that people, just because they see your skin color and you're out and about, there's that fear that a lot of them have automatically. I remember leaving the gym and cutting through the store, and there was this older white woman, and she was putting groceries in her car. I saw some things that were visibly heavy. So, you know, my upbringing and just my overall personality is to help her. However, because of the things that were going on in the news and just in general, I know that sometimes older white women, don't necessarily look at me and see someone who is safe. So I had a decision to make in that moment. Was I going to help her, or was I going to keep myself safe and keep moving? Because if I went over there and tried to help her, she could be thankful for that, or at the same time, she could perceive me as trying to steal from her, and she could yell, she could call the cops, she could do many things, and the situation could escalate, and my life could be in danger, all because I was trying to help her out. So in that moment, I had to keep myself safe because of everything that I was seeing. So I just continued to move. But at the same time, I had that internal conflict after that, because I didn't help someone who looked like they needed that help. But at the same time, because of the world that we live in, I had to do what I needed to do in order to survive. And just having to navigate that on a daily basis, where my morals and my ethics has to be put in check in order for me to survive. I just think that it's a very exhausting journey for Black men and Black women of this world.
That word exhausting. And for those of you who might not have caught that, Ricky is joining us all the way from Florida. And do you feel with the climate right now, with everything going on south of the border of us, does that amplify your exhaustion?
Yes, it definitely amplifies it because, especially over here, things have become very political. Things have become so political that people have completely forgotten about what's most important: the people. Regardless of who you support, regardless of what party that you're with, at the end of the day, we're all people here and we need one another in order to get out of this. So when you have people who just constantly, bring up, oh, because you're a certain color, that you support hate crimes, and and you're part of these groups that are trying to destroy the country and everything, and it's not the case. The case is people that look like me are dying on a daily basis. People that look like me are being discriminated against on a daily basis. We don't want to destroy anything. We want to be acknowledged. We want to be recognized. We want equal treatment just like anyone else. And sometimes the only way to do that is to cause disruption in the process that's going on. So the fact that a lot of things of people who look like me who are just trying to be noticed and acknowledged, the fact that people demean that, diminish that by making it political, it is creating such a hostility and just this divide here that is sometimes very hard to just be in the moment. Sometimes you just have to get away. Don't look at the news, don't look at social media, and just be in your own space.
And I remember once when you and I are talking, and we get so, like, I just love our relationship. And I remember when you said, Karen, if you don't hear from me, I just need my own space. I'm off social media.
Yes.
And I respected that. I respected that. And during these challenging times, what was your darkest moment during these last few months? What was your darkest moment, Ricky?
My darkest moment, honestly, was the George Floyd situation. So it was just the buildup. We had coronavirus happening, the pandemic. That's one thing we're trying to navigate. Businesses are shutting down. Me and the speaking engagements, a lot of those were canceled. A lot of those were postponed. So on that front, I'm dealing with that. And then I'm looking on the news and I'm seeing these videos of people that look like me being brutalized, and I'm a motivator, so I'm having again this internal conflict of how do I motivate someone when I'm seeing all this stuff, and right now I just don't have it in me. How can I give something that I don't have at that moment? So I was trying to force it and it just wasn't coming out of me. And I realized at that moment that I had to just get away. I had to shut down social media. I shut it down for a month. I wasn't posting. And that was also the moment that I also realized that a lot more people were paying attention to me than I noticed. People don't always react to your posts. People don't always necessarily say anything. But when I wasn't posting, that was when I noticed that people were really paying attention to what I was doing, and they were really counting on my posts in order to get them through their own situations. So it reignited the fire in me to want to get out of my situation and be that person again that inspires, that empowers people to move beyond any circumstances that they have. So at that moment, it was also some different shows that I had the possibility of being a part of in which I could share my experiences. We don't always have positive experiences in our lives, but sometimes what you have to do is you have to get it out. You have to acknowledge that you have negative emotions. You have to acknowledge that you're feeling hurt, that you're feeling sad, that you're feeling depressed. It doesn't mean that it has power over you, but you just have to acknowledge it so that you can address it and move past it. So once I started to do that and acknowledge that I'm a human being and I needed to process everything, that was when I was able to move out of that. So, I started getting more involved with different groups in which we could share our experiences in a safe environment, kind of like this right here. I was able to share my experiences, but we didn't only just share the experiences, but we started to share possible solutions, possible ways that we could work together to try to get out of this, to try to create something different. So that was when the show came up. That was when I was able to even work in corporate America and just kind of help them to kind of understand the experiences. Because again, sometimes in corporate America, when you talk about feeling like this, it's looked at as complaining. But
the angry black man's complaining.
Right.
The angry black man's complaining.
Exactly. But I realized that when I shared that with my peers and my bosses and my managers, I realized that I opened their minds, I opened their perspective. I brought in what their understanding of me was. They saw someone outside of just being a worker. They saw someone outside of just being a contributor to the organization. They saw me as a human being. And they realized that if they did not acknowledge all of me, that I could not give all to them.
That is power. That is powerful. If they don't acknowledge all of me,
yes,
the fact that you're a man and the fact that you're a black man,
yes,
then you can't give all of you.
That's right.
And one question I have for you, were you afraid to open their minds? Like, were you afraid for like, if I say something, you might get that backlash, that write-up, that coincidental, we need to let you go at this time?
I used to be. I'll say I used to be. I used to steer away from speaking about anything that kind of identified me as a black man. I wanted to stay as neutral as possible. But I think going in that dark moment, I think that was when I was at that moment where I didn't care anymore.
You have nothing to lose at this point. Like,
I had nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose. I remember when you were gone from social media. I missed you. I was like, where's my Ricky? We need you, and we need you here, and we love you. You're so positive, and I just have you in prayer with everything that you're going through. And I just love your contribution. Like, everything you just said helped so many of us see from you are a man, you're a black man, and you're American, and you're part of our Canadian family too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for that, Ricky. And I'm gonna go right to Kern. And Kern, I was just talking to Ricky about the angry black man. Do you ever identify yourself as an angry black man? What does that label feel like? Is it true? Is it a stereotype? Or does it resonate with you, angry black man?
Me personally, I don't feel like that. I don't think people who know me would look at me and think that at all. That's not even part of my personality. How other people view it, I don't know how anybody could view me like that. It's a stereotype. It's a stereotype for it's a way for us to not feel comfortable sharing our emotions. That's really what it's about. And especially, like, I know this is a show for black men, but especially with black women, it's really a way for them to just be like, oh, that's like dismissive, to dismiss us and feel like, oh, that's just that stereotype, that angry black person over there saying whatever they got to say. So I don't personally like relate to that. I'm super chill.
You are.
So that stuff for me is not going to pop up. But me, like, looking at it from the perspective of just being black and seeing how they treat other people when they talk like that it's interesting that Ricky was saying that in the office environment, though, because the office environment is interesting because it's the rules of the office environment are also systematically oppressive. So the fact that you can't even be loud and expressive in the office is
and then black on top of that, like, you're not going to make it through the first month. Like,
it's actually racist. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that you can't be loud is actually racist. So the talking loudly shouldn't even be looked at like that. Like, if I'm around my friends and we're getting to something, we're all loud. That's just how we communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not improper. It's just like, again, it's traditionally and systematically another way that they could kind of look at us and say, like, oh, they're other, they're look at them, they're different. So I don't buy it, and I'm definitely just not like that person.
Yeah, you're not. And what I love about you is that article that you wrote about losing some of your friends to murder and how that made you feel, and your relationship with your father. Can we just start with your father? There was some resent for your father, correct?
Yes, definitely. I feel like, just to be completely real, I feel like if you were born in the 80s, I was born in the 80s, like, our fathers failed us, like, real You know what I'm saying? Like, they failed us, man. Like, I tell people this all the time. I grew up in a building with 18 stories and 90% black, and only two people in the building had their father. Two families had their father. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, they failed. So the fact that now when I look at all my friends who are fathers and they're like active in their daughter's life or their son's life or whatever, to me that's like, it's like revenge almost, you know. It's almost like the revenge for being treated so poorly by your own fathers to be a good father in your own child's life, you know, because it changes your decision making. Like, think about it. I had my daughter when I found out my girlfriend was pregnant at the time when she was 18. I was 18, she was 17. We were young, right? So I was a really good basketball player, and I'm only saying this to get you guys to the point of the story, but I was a really good basketball player. I was getting scholarship offers from around the country, right? So around America too, like Division I schools, like all that. So I when I found out that my girlfriend was pregnant, I dropped out, partly because, or a big reason was because I didn't want to be seen as an absent father. That was a huge, so I dropped out of school and turned down scholarship offers. I mean, these scholarships are like, you're talking about $50,000 a year to go to these schools. You know what I'm saying? I dropped out, but in my mind, like, I was so scared of that title. I was so like, I didn't want to be that person. I dropped out of school and stayed. You know what I'm saying? So, and eventually, yes, I you know, got myself together, went to university, got my degree, graduated, all that, right? But that thought came from me being a child and not having my own father in my life. And like, he's not dead or anything, he's alive. So just not having him in my life was just like, left such a bad taste with me and such a bad feeling in me that I would do anything not to be like that. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you make decisions like that. It has an impact on your life whether you realize it or not. Because I tell people all the time, like, I don't care, my dad ain't here, I don't give a shit. Like that's like kind of how I move. But really, like, when I go back and analyze it and look at some of the decisions that I've made, it's directly related to not having a father involved in my life. So I can't even play it like that.
And you see the some of the moves you make are because your father wasn't there. I remember you wrote that. I remember you writing, I don't even know how I would feel if I saw my father again.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't, like, it's been so long now. Like, what would be the purpose? You know, like, there's part of me, like, I feel two ways about this. Part of me that'd be like I would definitely want to see him so I could tell him everything that's on my mind and go off. Like, there's
Like,
part
go
of
off, like, yeah, like no filter, like Kern style. Yeah.
just go off. Yeah, you know. But there's the other part of me that's just like, I wouldn't even give him that satisfaction, because that, like, I'll go off on people I care about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you want to make it work. We're passionate. We're just arguing passionately. Like, we want to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Why would I give him that? Why would I give him that kind of like love and energy? Because it's love. Like, if I go scream at him and get at, like,
when we fight, it's love. Yeah. So when I argue with you, is we love. Yeah. That's a good thing, right? Right.
That love. Like, he hasn't even been there, so why would I give him that love? You know. So it's a sad fact, because, like, again, like that leads to a lot of the problems that we're seeing now. Like, people. I was raised by a village. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a community to raise kids. It takes and it starts with the core family. Like, I'm a very, very strong believer in that. You know what I'm saying? So if you dismantle families, then you have problems like with the other article I wrote, where friends are dying. You know what I'm saying? Where people are being murdered and people have nowhere to turn, and the violence comes out. You know what I'm saying? And the drug addiction comes out, and the abuse comes out. Like, it's like, it starts with the family. You know, whatever that family looks like, it starts with the family. And if there's no foundation, if there's no core, then of course you're gonna have a bunch of lost kids running around shooting each other. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what do they have to live for? Who? What do they have to go home to fear? You know what I'm saying? Or not even to fear, but to, like, even a little bit of fear. But what do they have to go home to be accountable for?
Ooh,
like,
that's deep.
Who are they going home to be like, man, if I do this, my dad, like, my daughter right now, if she comes home and she does something wrong, she's like, shit, I gotta face my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But there was no fear that we had. Like, we had nothing to lose.
What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You know what I'm trying to say? So that's obviously, like, part of the reason, and there's other causes, but that's a huge reason. Like the absence of an actual family, of accountability, it's insane. And then the other side of it, like I wrote about too, the other side of it is like you I think sorry, I don't remember the person's name whose video we watched, but
Mr. KOA, who's here with us, so we can't wait to hear from him after. Yes, he's amazing. Yes. So the video, yeah.
The video, it made me think of another part of what I kind of wanted to discuss too. Was just like, he said everybody thinks every Black person has like some kind of like maybe like some kind of like not
pass.
No,
pass.
some kind of like mental trauma. Like that's what you're saying, right? And like that's like a strong belief of mine, because like we normalize so many things that are not normal. Like in the piece I wrote, I lost my first friend to murder when I was 15, right? He got stabbed 7 times in his own apartment building. Then another friend the next year got shot in his head. Then another friend got shot twice in the head. Then another friend got shot. Like this is all as a teenager, right? And every time that happened, like my emotions went just like number and number and number and number. So the first time it happened, I was like devastated, and I was like, oh my gosh. I went to the funeral and I cried, and I was like, I can't believe. And I thought the world would change. I was like, yo, the world's gonna change. My friend just died. Everyone's gonna realize they're wrong. The world's gonna change. And then none of that happened. And then more murders started happening. And then it got to the point where I stopped going to funerals, stopped going to wakes, stopped caring, like disconnected my feelings from a friend getting murdered. And now I have no feelings towards that. That is not normal. It's not a normal thing for you to lose someone in your life and have no emotional connection to that. So the fact that I'm even able to say that, and the fact that I'm able to sit here and be like, oh, one of my friends got murdered and I didn't even go to his funeral, like because I was so many other friends that got murdered, like that is not normal. I should have had someone to talk to from day one, you know, from the first time that happened. Like I needed to come on the Carrington show and talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
20 years ago, but that because it's not a normal thing to have that happen to someone at 15, 16, 17. People go to therapy today because they can't find a job. I can't,
not to laugh about it, but you're right. Like, those things are normal. Like, that's what we should have therapy for, right? Like,
that's what I'm trying to say. So then how do you not have like programs and therapy for people who lost someone to murder regular? Like that should be like intervention time. Like this 15-year-old girl, boy just lost someone to murder. Like, let's go talk to them to make sure they're okay. Like because right now we're just like, oh, that's normal. So then if it's normal to get murdered, then it's normal to murder. That's
whoa, stay there, Kern, stay there. If it's normal to get murdered, then it's normal to murder.
Yeah. That's deep. Murder is like if you're saying it's normal to just for someone to be murdered, and you're disconnecting from those emotions, so you're not even like you're like you could see it and be part of it and still not feel anything, then of course then it's having, you know, situations where we're in Toronto right now. We're in Toronto, like, period. Toronto's been like this for a minute. We're in Toronto, like people are just shooting people and not having those emotions because they see people that they know died. It's the same thought process. You know what I'm saying? If one of them, there's a victim, so it's clear. So you don't have empathy for the person who's a murderer, because the murderer, there's a victim, they kill somebody, right? But they're going through the same thought process as someone, you know, who just lost someone to murder. Like the thought is the same, the process is the same. We don't associate it like that. So it's dangerous all the way around. It's dangerous to normalize murder in any capacity. It shouldn't even be like that.
Oh, that was so deep what you said. And then also Shirin, a comment that came in, my really amazing friend Shirin. I love you so much, girl. And I got your message today, Shirin, so I'll get back to you on that message you sent me earlier today. Shirin said that she doesn't have her dad still till today. And then she just like honors you for staying there for your daughter. That, you know, that just staying is a game changer. So she just wants to edify you in doing that, right?
And I want to just say to her too, like, yo, that's the basics. That's the least. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the least we could do. We men do a lot more than that, but that's the least we can do, is be there. That's the beginning. Like, women have been doing that for centuries and thousands of years. Like, we're just like,
the least you could do is just stay for like
I don't want to
like,
take too much praise for just being here. Like,
take your praise, own it, take your praise.
I'll take
it.
You know, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, honestly. And thank you, Kern. Honestly, you sharing the murder of your friends. And just to go back to that article really quickly, how many of your friends did you lose to murder as a teen, approximately?
I can't even count. Probably at 7, 8 as a teen.
As a teen.
Yeah.
And no teen should endure that. So I'm so glad that thank you for sharing that realness, because not all of us have walked that path, but a lot of us have trauma like that. And what I loved about what you said the most was when you said, I can't believe I didn't go to the funeral and I didn't feel anything. And thank you for being so authentic. Mr. KOA, who's here, because Kern, I'm going to ask him about that part that you were talking about. Mr. KOA, can you unmute yourself, please?
Can you hear me?
Bro.
Can you hear me?
I could hear. Oh, we could all hear you, buddy.
This is dope. This is really sick to be doing this. Thank you for hosting it. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you guys all for speaking. This is heavy, man. Like, I'm just
this stuff is when we do this, and Kern knows, Kern's with me a couple times, Randy's been with me a lot of times, Nelly, like, we do some heavy. The stuff with Roots is just so amazing. Roots communities are so amazing. And the interviews I do with men, it's heavy. And when I say heavy has a negative connotation to it. But no, it's like heavy, like.
No. I think we need this type of weight, because we're already dealing with other weights that are not positive. You know what I mean? So this is a type of weight that we need to continue to facilitate. I just wanted to. Did you have a question for me, or
we all want to pick your brain like forever. So, and I want you to be able to speak and have the platform. But I just wanted to really say that part when you said, because we Black, like, we have a past. That part, that line that you said about the past. That was my favorite. We all watched that video so many ways.
Thank you. For anyone curious, I have a whole series of videos during that time I made. I'm someone who doesn't.
I'll make sure and share them with all the participants.
Sure.
Yeah. They're amazing, man.
I'm somebody who doesn't speak unless I have something very important to say. That's just how I am. I feel like people like to just say stuff. They don't really think. I'm a very calculated person. So those videos, there's about five or six of them that I made during all the stuff that's happening from May to now. They happened when I felt, pushed to make them. I had to speak. I had to say something, because people were just sharing stuff. We went through a series of sharing Black squares. People were sharing. Companies started putting out these promos for Black people, like we're some charity case. Like, it was just, there's just so much noise happening. I just had to shut it down, because I wasn't for it. Like, people were like, oh my God, these companies are doing this. I'm like, I don't want to store on your show, but I'm like, fuck all that. Like, this, I don't care about these programs that you guys are making now. Like, this is new stuff. You know what I mean? So with the video, when you shared, that was the first one I made, because I was deeply, like, frustrated, because, like, it was like we didn't even get a chance to process the last thing before the next thing. Like, something happens, you're like, oh shoot, this, and then you open your phone the next day and something else. You're like, I haven't even processed the last 2 murders that just happened 3 days ago, and now I have to deal with this. Like, so. And
then I message you saying something happened. You're like, what happened? Like, you're like, what? You mean that thing? Like, oh no, not that old story. The new murder. You're on that murder? No, the new murder, bro. Like, that's old murder. Yeah.
Like what Kern was saying, like, it gets to a point you're like desensitized to stuff you actually are supposed to care about, and it's like, I can't care about these things, or else I can't function. Like, I won't be able to do work. I won't be able to get anything done if I care about everything. So it forces you to like pull yourself out of everything just to move. And that's not a problem that other people have to deal with. That's not a problem that white people have to deal with. They get up and they go to work and they have a bad day because they spilled coffee. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, we have to process every day how we're gonna get through, on top of the fear, on top of getting pulled over. I posted a video about a month ago. I got pulled over because my car was tinted, he said, in broad daylight. He's like, oh, your tints are a little too dark. Daylight in the middle of the street. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, am I getting a ticket? He's like, no, I just wanted to let you know. I'm like, bro, white people don't deal with these random pullovers to let you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
there's a part that you said where I loved it. I can't even afford to care, or I can't get my stuff done. So I wonder, as Black people, what is more important to us, getting our shit done or caring? Like I started to wonder, by getting my stuff done and not caring, then why am I getting stuff done? You know what I'm saying?
Because we still have to make a dent.
Oh, damn.
Because we can't afford to care about anything and also be at the bottom of the barrel at the same time.
Damn.
We have to make some ground. So we have the group of people that, you know, we kind of lean to take on that caring stuff. You know, for example, you're one of those people having these type of situations or these conversations. You're someone who cares to like allow us to check in, show some care, have this moment, and then we gotta get back to work. Like we have people, Black people in the community that have these roles that do these things for us, that has allowed these spaces for Black men and women to come to kind of reset and let go, and then go back into the playing field, because we can't all be low.
Someone's gotta stay on top. Like you go back to work while we stay low. Like you go do the work, I'll stay low. Then I'll go do some work, and like
we can't all be low because we're already behind. So some of us has to, like, if it's
keep
Black
it pushing.
Men, if it's the Black men, then the Black men do it. But also the Black men have to protect Black women, which we're also not doing. The Black women are there to protect us and give these spaces for us, and we're not even protecting them. So like that's also another problem within itself. Like there's so much reconstruction we have to do as Black people, but there's so many fires happening at the same time. There's no way to focus on one thing. It's a constant like chase, like cat and mouse. It's crazy.
And then we just say, let the whole thing burn. You know what? Like, because you're putting out one fire, this one's a fire. You're right, and it's exhausting. And then videos like the one you made come out and saying, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. And I wanted to ask you, what keeps you going then? Like with everything you have to deal with as a Black man. And I love the part when you said about protecting women. That's definitely, we got to do a session on. That's a whole nother session.
Yeah.
But the part, what keeps you going then? Like how do you stay above water, man?
I'm alive. That, like, as Kern was saying, like, I've lost people, I've lost friends, I've lost family members. My cousin got shot by police 3 years ago that the family's still dealing with. I've lost a friend in the car fire. I lost a friend to cancer. Like, all this stuff is happening. I've been pulled over. I've been harassed. Racist. Like, there's so much that, you know, the dead Black people that didn't make it are no longer having to worry about, that if I am alive, I don't have an alternative. Like, I feel like I don't get to not do, like, while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like we're allowed to not do while we are the few ones that are still here. And it almost feels selfish of me to not, you know, speak up, to not, you know, hold my ground and put people in their place, to not, you know, force myself into rooms that I'm not supposed to be in, because the people that are dying, the people that are getting killed for no reason, very talented people. Even this year, how many people we lost to whatever? Whatever. Like, I'm sure they're amazing fathers, mothers, talented doctors, whatever. I'm sure they're great at all the things they're doing. And that just took one more of those great people out of those spaces. So we need to do things to replace them. That's what keeps me going. I feel like we are the ones that are alive, so we kind of have to just pick up where they left off. That's just kind of how it works.
Like pass the baton and run with it.
That's just the way it is.
If you had a piece of advice for someone who needs therapy, Black men seem to be reluctant to seek help.
Yeah.
If there's a Black man on the line listening here who may feel a little quiet, but he wants to reach out to help, but is a little bit reluctant, nervous. He feels good in this space. He sees all his brothers talking. We have Shane, the counselor, where this man can go, but he's reluctant. Would there be a piece of advice that you would give that man or men who are listening right now? What would you tell them to do? Would you tell them to wait and hold back, or just make that call?
I'd say find a Black therapist. It has to be a Black therapist. Because I have a podcast, and I was talking about it specifically about therapy. And the reason a lot of Black people don't go to therapists is that there's not a lot of Black therapists. And yeah, you might find a great white therapist who's super educated, super great at what they do, blah, blah, but you'll never understand me. And I already am entering this position at a disconnect because I don't trust you. So even if you're telling me great things, I don't trust you. So I'm not going to open up to you. I'm never going to feel comfortable to you. And the whole point of me coming to therapy is me opening up. So if I'm already disconnected to you when you enter the room, I don't even know you, and I already feel like you don't really understand me, this is not going to go anywhere. So you absolutely have to find a Black therapist if you're a Black man or Black woman, whether it's a Black woman because you're a woman or a Black man because you're a man, but the Black therapist is definitely important and mandatory because it actually already levels the playing field for I don't want to have to explain what I feel like every day to a therapist and then get to my problems. Like what?
This is like a 5-session
no,
now,
like
right?
no, I could enter the room and be like, I could look at you, you're like, I get it. So let's just talk about the problems. I don't want to talk about things you feel like we can, but we might not have to. We're kind of like, I get that part. Let's solve some problems. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably my best advice. Like definitely if you're on the fence considering it, search Black therapists. I'm sure I think there's a website like blacktherapist.com.
Yep, and we have Shane here from Roots Community.
Yeah,
amazing Black man. Exactly.
Definitely.
You know what? I love the way you said that because you can get a therapist, you're right. But then there's that explaining part of who you are and then how you feel. And I like that part when you said, let's just get to the chase. Because sometimes explaining who you are and them not getting it, it just loses the whole essence of why you're there.
100%.
I love when you said, you just walk in the room. You know, when you and I just walk in the room, I just look at you.
Yep.
We get it.
Yep.
I love that feeling when you look at your best friend across the table and they just know what you're thinking without you saying anything.
Yep. Or that one other Black friend at work, it's just you and him or you and her.
At the water cooler, and they know, the water cooler, bro, and they just know.
Yeah. Exactly.
They know we need to get out of this conversation, right? I get it. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. I can't wait. I can't wait to send out the video to absolutely everyone who's watching because it moved all of us. And I think, like we all said, we watched it quite a few times today. And I think we don't watch it to bring ourselves into a negative place, but watching your video was really bringing us out of that place. And it was so relatable. And we felt like you're our brother, you're our friend, you're a family. And that video was that look, like he gets us. We get you. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we have Randy. Can you hear me? One of my best friends ever. Randy, can you take off your microphone and just join me for a second, Randy?
Yeah.
Are we getting? There you are.
Do you hear me?
Appreciate you. I always hear you.
Do I sound?
I think you sound
okay.
I just want to thank you for purchasing the book, Shame Over. My book. Thank you so much.
Oh, for sure.
I know we're hearing a little bit of an that's okay, but I just want to talk about the book really quickly because it's Black Friday.
Okay.
Me and you and all the panelists, thank you so much for getting my book. Why don't we, for Black Friday, give away a book to one of the participants? I think that would be awesome.
Oh, it's a good idea.
I think so. Because does the book help you? Shame Over, did it help you?
Well, I'm still going through it, but it's very inspiring and interesting.
Oh, thank you.
That's why I'm still reading it. You know?
I remember you said you had a highlighter.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, where is it? Yeah. I have a highlighter, man. I was going through it one night. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna remember this. You know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's very informative, though.
Yeah.
I like how you orchestrated the book too with the interview and the host. I mean, it was perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect blend.
Thank you. And for those of you who want to win a copy of Shame Over, it's a book that I wrote, and we'll just hashtag the word Black Men Speak Up. So if you guys could just hashtag the word Black Men Speak Up in the chat, then I'll make sure and we will pick someone. We'll mail out a copy of Shame Over. And Shame Over is a book that I wrote with social worker David Grant, and it's especially for men's mental health. And it talks about men from all walks of life, whether it be Indigenous, men that have suffered from sexual abuse, men that have fallen to suicide due to losing their children in family court. It talks about men and sexual orientation and what orientation they decide to choose. It talks about there's a chapter in there for us women on how to relate to our men, because that's always key. Because sometimes, ladies, sometimes we miss the mark. Sometimes we miss the mark. So there's definitely that shout out to you to help. And also, there's a chapter that helps with youth and mental health, because we all know with our youth, they're going through. Times are not easy with everything going on. So if you want to hashtag, I might even play myself. I might even hashtag Black Men Speak Up, because I want to play too. And if we could also do something in the meantime for my tech team, if we could bring up Shane's slide, because myself and Mr. Koa were talking about getting therapy from a Black therapist. And of course, we have Shane, who is the counselor at Roots Community Services. And we had asked all of you to perhaps take a picture of his contact information, and you're more than welcome to pass that along to someone in need, a male that may need that. That could even be yourself. Shane is there at your disposal. He's very relatable, really easy to talk to. Like Mr. Koa said, Black. He understands the Black journey for the Black community, and it is complimentary. Everything is complimentary. So, and everything is confidential, of course. So if you want to take a quick screenshot of that screen and know that Shane is there for you, he's my go-to guy. Shane is someone that you really want in your corner. He's completely awesome. So before we leave off, as you guys know, I always have a affirmation. Let's see, hold on. I always have repeat the hashtag is Black Men Speak Up. The hashtag is Black Men Speak Up. Hashtag Black Men Speak Up. That is the name of this group. And if you hashtag that, I'm going to make sure and give away a copy of Shame Over. And I also want to thank absolutely everyone in advance who has purchased their copy. It is $20 available on Amazon, or you could always message me and I will mail you a personal signed copy. So with that being said, sometimes all the time, I wish I could have these sessions go on forever. If we can just bring up that, hi, Sharon. Oh, thank you, Sharon, for saying that. I see you. Hello, my name is Sharon. Sharon, it was such a pleasure talking with you this morning. I loved our call this morning, girl. That meant a lot to me. It was great meeting you this morning. If my tech team can bring up the picture of my sons one more time, I just want to really just bring up a picture of my sons just because a lot of this work that I do is really for the community and it's also for them. DeAndre is in the red sweater and Therese in the hoodie and my grandson Emilio in the middle. I guess I just wanted to see their picture one more time, because my why, what keeps me going is them, raising Black men. That's what keeps me going. And I guess I just needed to see them one more time. I was just feeling, after everything we just talked about, this is what keeps me going. And I just always have my boys in prayer. I have anyone that has a son, I have them all in prayer. We are here for your sons. We're here for your husbands. We're here for your brothers. Roots Community Services is here for you guys. If anyone needs support, if you're a woman out there trying to raise sons and you need help, we're here for you. So that being said, as you all may or may not know, at the end of every session, I like to end it off with an affirmation. Affirmations are something that keeps us positive. Affirmations are something that keeps our mental health in check. Affirmations empower us. And so what I've done in Shame Over is I put 52 affirmations in the back, and that is for men. And that means every week for 52 weeks, you have a different affirmation that you could read out loud and affirm to yourself that you are enough. So whenever you're feeling down, you can just refer to that. So let's bring this one up let's bring up the slide so we could all read it together. Just going to take a deep breath in. And whenever you're saying affirmations, try to say them in the morning and try to say them in the mirror. And you take a deep breath and you say it like you mean it. No matter what, I will be okay. I ask for help when I need it. It does not make me weak. I am a powerful Black man. My life matters. I'll read that to you guys one more time. No matter what, I will be okay. I ask for help when I need it. It does not make me weak. I am a powerful Black man. My life matters. My life matters. So I just want to take a moment and thank absolutely everyone for coming, but it would not be the same without me thanking my tech team, Sassy LAV Productions. Without you guys, this is not possible. They do a lot of the background work to make this happen, to create that safe space, capturing all your comments, making sure all the tech is on point. They really make sure that everything goes smoothly. And with everything going on in the world and everything being uncertain, the one thing I am certain about is that my tech team will always take care of me, take care of us, and provide a safe space. Now with everything being closed, we can't go anywhere. So this is what we have. We have Zoom. And having a tech team, you could bring up your slide for sure, bring up your slide. Having you guys do this and providing a safe space with the Zoom, making sure the videos play flawlessly. You make sure that everything is running smoothly. I honor you, I salute you. You are our sanctuary, a place where we can come. So I just thank you, I appreciate you, I value you, I need you. So that being said, I see all of your comments. Thank you so much for organizing this. I had an amazing time. Thank you for your vulnerability and sharing. Oh, thank you. One love. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing all your chats. We're going to make sure whoever won the book, I'll make sure that I'll message you because we have all your emails from when you registered, and I'll make sure to mail that out to you and announce that. You matter. I'm seeing Karen, you rock. Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ricky. Yes, Norvette's thing. Thank you to Ricky, my panel members. Without you guys, I can't do this without you guys. Black men, you matter. Black men, you always come to the forefront and you speak up. You're leading the way for some other Black men that want to speak up and maybe don't know how to do that. Thank you for leading the way and paving the way. Thank you for your vulnerability. Thank you all for being my friends. You guys are my brothers in Christ. I love you all. I love you all. I need you all. I value you all. Shane, thank you. And Roots Community Services, I thank you for always having me. So that is it. Until next time, same vibe, same good place. Love you.